Okay, so, for those of you wondering why we're streaming today, first of all, I really needed the stream to take my mind off of how much I am not doing particularly well today. Water heater issues, moving on. Second of all, one of the things I am very big on is trying to be as communicative as possible, trying to explain not just what I'm doing, but why I'm doing it, and go into all the wonderful nitty-gritty details that are involved when it comes to doing something as complex as running a streaming show by myself. By the way, hi Valton, welcome to the stream. You have chosen a fantastic day to join. I'm not even in uniform, I'm literally just in my exercise clothes. So, here's the deal. First of all, for those of you who have not heard the word, the LGA, that is the Lore Walker Game Awards of 2022, are currently active. We currently have 77 people who have voted, roughly, which is a little under half of what I would expect from that. So I'm going to let that run for a little bit longer. But if you have not voted, this is a good time to do so. If you have not voted, you can type into chat right now, !VOOT, in order to go ahead and, you know, get the links for that and be able to get your votes. Now, this is what happens to people who don't vote. Don't be like him. Now, the other thing, the other two things, actually, hang on, I got a sub from Rax. Thank you, Rax. Always. Give me a moment. So Ace Palmer 0. J Palmer is spreading it to Lego Star Wars and WoW BFA specifically. It is 4 links because getting a proper voting system online is much more of a hassle than it probably should be. And what it boiled down to is there's 3 things I could do. I could do it manually, which I'm not doing because that takes absolutely forever. The amount of calculations that go on the back end are insane, and it takes forever. So that's not happening. Second option, well, there's a pay site, which I actually used to use. However, they charge per item being voted for, and we had 26 votes, which meant it would cost $1,300 to run the vote for them. The problem with the current polling system is they only allow 10 entries per ballot, and we had 26 things, so we have 4 ballots. And I know that math doesn't work out right, but we had a glitch on one of the ones in ballot 1, so we made a brand new ballot, which is just 1 vote, to fix that one glitch. Anyways, Roximus is donating towards FF7R2, the Kingdom Hearts block, and Jedi Survivor. Thank you, Rax, very much. And that's the Plural system in a nutshell, by the way, what you just saw. You donate via whatever method, bits, patronage. There will be a post tomorrow on Patreon, as there usually is. Subscription or direct donation. You pick up to 3 things. That's it. That's the system. It's very, very simple. And I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible to minimize any possible confusion. There is a little bit of complexity that goes on behind the scenes, and there's actually a lot of math involved, but that's all on my end, and I don't mind that. So, that's the Plural voting system in a nutshell. We are officially going forward with the Plural voting system. And, I heard you, Elizar. Thank you. So, let's go ahead and talk about, Is this what I'm supposed to do? God, I'm trying to remember where I'm going here. Let's talk about the announcement. So, let me give the bombshell first, and then we'll move forward. I'm not purging the list. There you go. There's the bombshell. Now let's rewind a lot. For those of you who haven't been keeping up to date on stream news or Discord or anything else, the idea here is I find myself faced with a fairly complex situation. I'm the leader of a country, and I want as many of the people in that country to be as happy as possible, but that's impossible. So trying to figure out how to please as many people without going too far, without going too little, and making sure that as many people as possible's needs and wants are all met simultaneously is the problem. That is the complexity of what I'm staring at. I keep calling it a country because, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, that's kind of what this is. Don't mistake me, I'm not trying to be grandiose. I'm just saying that's sort of the nature of this situation. Obviously, this is a stream, instead of a country, and it's you all instead of several hundred million, but it is the exact same problem faced in both directions. So how do I keep as many people as happy as possible without going too far, without going too few, right? Now, there's a lot of surface level solutions I could give, which are all stupid and terrible. They all suck, and if all of them were thrown out the window, nothing would be bad. So that's cool. But then we have to think about, well, okay, what I need is a more complex solution rather than a surface level solution. I've bounced around a lot of ideas in my head over the years as to try and make it work out, because one of the issues here, that would be funny, boys of Authority. Rax, you're now landed. Congratulations. One of the issues here is that the system that we've had in place for several years now works perfectly fine and works really well when it comes to the popular stuff. It also works well for people who actually have money to really push into the show. Now, I'm not trying to say that to be mean, it's just some people can donate nothing or $1 a month, and other people can put in more than that. That's life. That's the spread problem, right, that I was talking about earlier. Like, Shadow Machine literally just dropped $50 on my face. That's not, there's no judgment here. There's no that's good, bad, or in between. That's reality, right? So, one of the things I did back in the day, and we've adhered to this for a long time, is I made it so that you can get lore bits just by watching the stream. And so, therefore, simply by being here, you have the option to at least have a voice. Okay, really quick. Forgive me for the interruption. I just got an email from my landlady. Fortunately, of all the people at this place, one of the only people who works here who is actually worth a damn is the landlady. I'm sorry. I'm not going to explain the joke. She was informed that I need a new water heater. Has placed the order for the new one today and will be installed as soon as it arrives. Cool. That's actually really good that she's on top of that as much as possible. I'm actually going to go ahead and respond right now. Yes, it looks like it wasn't something simple or easy to fix, comma. But thank you for the quick response, period. I have removed everything from the closet to try and make the eventual installation as easy as possible whenever it gets here, period. Cool. So, she is communicative. I actually have met her in person, you know. She's a nice lady. And, okay, this is going to sound mean, but she's about average level competence. I don't mean that as a negative thing, though, because this is the best place I've ever rented. Maybe that's an indictment of the rental places I've been at, but the point remains that she is, nevertheless, more... She's not an incompetent moron or actively malicious, and I've dealt with both. I'm sure several of you have, too. The question man isn't up, Elizara, that's why. I was going to say, I bet several of you have also dealt with bad landladies or landlords, and unfortunately, it sucks, because I'd rather everyone in chat says, no, I've had awesome people. Yeah, exactly, Velton. You get it. You get it. I'm sorry, I'm getting way off topic here. So I'm trying to make it as relatively fair as possible, because there's two... We're in combat with something. We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. This is it. This is death. We're not going to make it. So there's two groups of categories of things that I'm trying to help with this situation. One is what I just mentioned, the people who simply do not have either the money or the capacity to put towards the show, which, again, is just life. The other is niche games. Streams or games that just don't get a lot of interest. Now, when I say niche, I should probably clarify that for just a second. Because when I say niche, I don't mean what you're thinking. What I mean is games that have not currently garnered interest. Obviously, games that some people don't know about or are actually niche games qualify, but there's also plenty of very popular games that everybody knows about that are also dwindling down there in what I like to call the 0%. For those of you not aware, there are over 100 games on the list right now that are at 0% funding. Now, there's a lot of factors going into this, and again, this is a complex situation. Not everyone has time to peruse the whole list. Not everyone has the understanding of a game off the top of their head. Not everyone has the interest in even bothering or caring. A lot of people just put it towards dealer's choice, etc., etc. You get the idea. There's plenty of factors that go into all of this. So one of the biggest things that I identified as a way to try and resolve the situation is to shrink the list. Now the problem here is for this to work, the list would have to be probably at most maybe 50 games strong. And you're already seeing the problem with that. This was the original impetus behind the idea to nuke the list, to completely purge it out and just start fresh.
What say you?
I just told you, nobody's listening to me today. To just go ahead and wipe out the list and try to make it so that everything gets evenly and equally etch-a-sketched, and then just kind of start over fresh with the new system, with the plural voting system in place, to allow games to kind of propagate back in. There are, however, two big problems with nuking the list. One is... Actually, there's really only one problem with nuking the list, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because you're probably thinking, hold on, lore, I would hate it if you do that. That's the second problem with nuking the list, but I'm going to say this as absolutely heartlessly as I possibly can. That's not a factor. Hear me out for just a second. Hear me out, okay? Dungeon Siege 2 wasn't removed from the list. What are you talking about? Hold on. What are you on about? Yeah, Dungeon Siege 2 is right here. What are you talking about? Okay, so the second concern, let me address this in order, because I want everyone to hate me as equally as possible. It's important if you're going to be a leader to have everyone hate you as equally as possible. That's not a joke. So, all right. And that's right, Rax could take over, because he's a lord now. Trying to make sure as many people are as happy as possible without going too far, without going too few, means what? I'm just going to answer you. It means making people unhappy. Let me use the archetypal... Archetypal? How do you say that word? Let me use the typical example here, okay? Raising taxes. Now, I know that's a political thing, not a stream thing, but hear me out for just a moment. Raising taxes is something that is a good thing to be done under certain circumstances. It is something that should be done under certain circumstances. It is the kind of thing that nobody likes and everybody hates. It is the kind of thing that can, in many cases, destroy governments. But the problem is, it does need to happen. There are certain times in which the political leadership needs to sit down and say, taxes need to go up. And I'm not going to go into the very complex economic reasons for that, because that's the whole point. This is a complex situation. That's literally the whole point of what I'm going for here, right? Where am I? Wow, I have roamed way off course. We might not make it to Balmora. So, archetypal, but that just sounds wrong to my... Whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is, archetypical. We're just going to make that a word. The archetypical way to do it is to just raise taxes. But yeah, there's a balancing act that has to happen here, because if you just decide... Let me give you a hypothetical scenario. Let's say I am a politician. Let's say I push and vote for raising taxes. Let's say everybody hates that. Let's say K in chat... No, we'll use Rax. Rax in chat says, these new taxes suck. We need to get rid of corrupt lore. Death to lore. Vote for me and I'll lower taxes. People oust me. Rax is voted in. He lowers taxes. The economy goes to crap because the taxes needed to rise for complex economic reasons. This is it. This is the death. You're gonna get killed by a rat. You're fine, Eleazar. Don't worry about it. So, do you understand? Sorry, Rax. So you understand the problem here. You understand this situation. Anybody who lives in Britain probably understands this situation, because you've literally gone through this in the last few months. This is not hypothetical. This game. So, let's bring this back to the stream. The list needs to go. It does. The list needs to be axed. However, I'm pretty sure that actually doing the extremely unpopular act of getting rid of the list is just going to lead to the death of my economy, in this case, the stream and my livelihood. So, I'm going to go ahead and back off and say, nope, okay, you win, and we're not nuking the list. However, if you're paying attention, I've only listed the second non-problem with the list being nuked. Because the real problem with the list being nuked is that I don't think I can nuke the list. So, let me try to explain this a little bit here. One of the things I just kept talking around a circle was trying to figure out a way to reduce... You've never played this game before, have you, Eliezer? You can't... Oh, Jesus, now I'm losing my train of thought. It's okay, but we're about to die. It's okay, then we'll start over. Yeah, our unarmed skill is 3, that's why we can't fight back. Andrew already gets it, so sorry, I'm taking too long to explain this because I'm getting too distracted. I'm just getting bombarded in chat. I should probably just turned off chat to talk for a second. That's my bad. I apologize.
This better be important.
So, let's say I do nuke the list. It's gone. Now let's assume for just a moment that that works and my job doesn't go away tomorrow. Those games are just going to get re-added right back to the list. Just like that. Now, this was part of the reason why I wanted to go ahead and give everyone the option to save a game. If you remember, that's one of the things I mentioned 2 days ago, I think, at this point. It's like, so, you get to save one game. Everyone gets to save one game. What do you want to save? And we got a little over 130 responses inside of 2 days. Now, on the one hand, that's good. It shows a lot of people actually are active and part of the community and are awesome. But on the other hand, it means the list is now an unsolvable problem. Because the thing is, there is no actual solution here. The niche games, the games that are at the bottom of the list, for any reason, are going to stay there. And that's life. I don't mean to sound so harsh about that. If anything, I am legitimately angry, but not at you, or not even the system, or anything else, but only at myself, because I have not been able to find an actual solution for this. There are other ways to try and completely rejiggle things in order to move that into a better situation, but none of that's really going to work, and all of those just create new other problems, which we've already solved. We currently have a wheel. Switching to a triangle might solve some issues, but it's only going to cause a lot of others. Terrible analogy. So, that's the long and the short of that. Remember, if you do not actually vote, that is going to happen to you. Now, I've decided to just make peace with that. It's okay. I accept it. I am angry about it, but if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit more angry about my frickin' water heater. Yeah, no, that's... So, okay. Let's talk this out. Again, fully communicative. What Games and Gold just said in chat is probably a joke, but it's not. The only way to actually fix the list is to remove the list entirely. Just completely. And basically say, trust me. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that games get streamed that are as fair and as interesting to as large of a group of people as possible. That's the answer. Now, I'm not saying we should do that, because I actually like the fact that people can put interest towards things and mention things. After all, they're games I've never even heard of. And the only way that would actually work is if there was still another separate mechanism in place whose purpose was to suggest games, right? It wouldn't be a funding list. It would be more like, here's something that I think would be a good stream. Here's something I'd like to see streamed. Here's something that, you know, whatever, right? And then that would become part of the consideration for when I'm actually setting up the schedule going forwards. So, that is the option. And for very obvious reasons, I've decided not to do that. Not only do I not particularly want to be a dictator, contrary to popular belief, but also I do kind of want people to still feel like they are deliberately making choices and deciding what to do things. Like, that's how that is, right? Now, I know a lot of people support me and not the games, and that's fine. I mean, I know that because I have statistics backing that up, even ignoring the fact that people tell me that. I actually did a number crunch this morning. 76% of the donations I got last year went towards dealer's choice. That's up, by the way. So, you know, that's, I get it. I'm with it. Cool. But we're going to just kind of keep the list as is, and here's the really strange part. And again, once again, I'm being fully communicative about this. So we're kind of going into what I'm going to refer to as Dictator Light. Hear me out. Because this is what we've already been doing, if you're paying attention. The system we have had in place for a couple of years at this point is Dictator Light. And the way it works is you guys can fund stuff. You guys have funded stuff. But by and large, mostly the funding list is more about showing interest. It's about a way to show these are the games I want funded. And I don't just mean interest, and I don't just mean money. I also mean consistency, which is very important. I pay very careful attention to games that people donate for consistently, either month after month, or week after week, or stream after stream, or whatever, right? I track all that stuff. It's one of the ways games like Code Vein gets funded. I'll use a specific example. Because Code Vein was a game that several people, actually, 3 people, were just consistently donating towards regularly, right? Consistency. Now, the reason that matters to me is I talk about interest, I talk about funding, I talk about consistency, but what all of this really means is, and I don't have a better word for this, people who give a damn, right? There is a noted difference. Rax and I have talked this about several times. There's a notable difference between, it would be nice if you streamed this, and I really want you to stream this, right? And so this whole system is admittedly a bit of a complex way of trying to get understanding of what people are actually interested in. Yeah, actual investment, actual caring. Like, man, I want this to happen. And exactly, Ross, that's how I shotgun dealer's choice. I was actually talking about this just the other day. Someone in Discord. I don't really put dealer's choice towards games I want to stream. I have done it. I did it with Mega Man 7 and Super Mario Sunshine and Mega Man 11. And that's it. But I put dealer's choice towards those games, the games with consistency, the games with investment. Let's call it that, investment. I like that word. Games with investment. And that's the system. And that's what we're going to keep going with. But I want everyone to be aware of the fact that that's how the system works, because I like to be communicative. Because there's one other facet of the system that I think not everyone's really aware of. It's the reallocation. So let me use a hypothetical example. Let's pull out a 0% game. Hang on, I'm going to pause here on our 3rd trip. Now, we still haven't made it to Balmora alive. Let's pull up a 0% game really quick. Give me a minute. Get under the list. All the way to the bottom. Let's go with... That's a really good pick here. I don't really have a really good pick here, but let's just pick one randomly. Let's say Neo: The World Ends With You. Okay, that game has $2 from one person put towards it. It is a 0%. Now, whoever that person is, and I'm not going to name names because I don't have it in front of me, but whoever that person is, they can at any time, within reason, say, you know what? Maybe I don't really want to see that game funded. Or maybe I don't really think anybody else wants to see it funded. Or maybe I don't think it's going to get funded at all. What you can then do, because this power is in your hands, is say, I'm going to reallocate that towards something else. And you can take that $2 and reallocate it. What I'm trying to say is you can remove games from the list. Because a lot of those 0%ers are put there by 1 or 2 people. Make sense? And I want people to be aware of that choice, because I notice only, I think, 3 people have ever really done reallocation. And I feel like that's my fault because I haven't properly communicated it, which is why I'm communicating it. you have the power of reallocation at any time. Now, the list is going to just continue being this giant boggy mess of doom, and that's fine. Like I said, I've kind of come to grips with that. Am I? Okay, no, I'm actually going the right way. Holy crap. But you guys have the ability to prune the list basically at will. So, food for thought. Something to consider going forwards. Now that's all the announcements, that's all the important stuff. Now, I gotta go say thank you to Shadow Machine. You thought I was ignoring you, didn't you? Thank you, Shadow Machine, very, very much. Always appreciate that support very much. And so, let's see. So you're going to put that towards the Mario and Luigi block. Rabbids 1, Rabbids 2. You got it. Correct, Jay Palmer. The only reason that sheet hasn't been literally deleted... Yes, we're still using plural voting. We may discontinue plural voting, but I don't think we'll need to. I am reasonably confident that it's going to work exactly as I think it's going to work. Knock on wood. But... So the engineer in me, for lack of a better way to put that, I can do as many feasibility tests as I want, but I always prefer live data. I'm sure some of you understand that mentality. So the way to tell if the plural voting block works is to do it, and we'll see it in action. Yep. There we go. Now, having said all of that, I think I will still go ahead and... Oh, there's a bug up there. There's a single bug! My greatest nemesis. No, you're fine, Imperial Star Destroyer. So... Yeah, actual data minus simulations, exactly. I'm still going to retain the right and option to do periodic purges. That is to say, axes. Just periodically axe the list a little bit down. But I'm not going to axe niche stuff, I'm going to axe dead fruit. Now, I should explain that really quick before I say thank you to people. Dead fruit is a term that, I can't remember where I got it from, it was an engineering term. It refers to the stuff that's absolutely stagnant. It's not the stuff that's just kind of sticking there on the corner of the barrel. It's the mush at the bottom of the barrel that's been there for a while, and someone really needs to clean the barrel out. That's dead fruit, right? The 148 games that I nuked earlier this week, those were all dead fruit. Those are gone. And those should have been gone because those games fit the requirements. And I'm pretty... Oh my god, we're gonna make it to Balmora. Look! Yeah, the moldy stuff, you get it. Not just games that had low interest, but games that had low interest, that were going to keep having low interest, that had low consistency, that had low funding, etc., etc., etc. You get the idea. And, of course, anything that was something that was recently added to the list doesn't count. Anything that was something that isn't out yet wouldn't count. Anything that's a passion project that someone's been slowly donating towards wouldn't count. This is why I say, you know, thank you for trusting me for that, because a lot of you did vote that you trusted me on that. Because I did my due diligence and did 4 separate passes on that list to make sure that only the actual dead fruit got nuked, as opposed to getting rid of a game accidentally that I shouldn't have. We made it! Ah, oh, yes, okay. Yeah, that's why I keep track. That's why I have spreadsheets, and that's why I do statistics. So, now that we have successfully made it to Morrowind, I mean, Balmora. This town looks like crap. Everything in this game looks like crap. Yeah, now to make a decision with Mora. Yeah, let's just enjoy the view for a minute here, while I catch up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that animation. Alright, so. Hang on. So, Shadow Machine. What I'm probably going to do, if people are now more aware of reallocation, I'm probably going to start keeping track of that as a separate thing. So, Shadow Machine wants to reallocate from... Hang on. From Visions, Hawkeye, Wanda, Vision, Falcon, to... Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Done. I will do that later, obviously. I know, right, Space Cadet? TAS is going to be the hardest one for me. I've actually already finished Enterprise and TOS. I haven't even started TAS. All right, so let's go in reverse order here. Thank you, Dark Day, very much. If you want to put that towards up to 3 things of your choice, please let me know. The music, of course, stopped. Let's go ahead and Alt-Tab to get the music starting again. There we go. Gotta have that music. Music is the lifeblood. My music folder on my directory or my hard drive is literally called Lifeblood. That is a potential danger, Umbral Magnus. However, I keep track of that kind of thing. So if somebody, and I've actually already mentioned this, if somebody tries to artificially double dip or triple dip, then no. And that's it. So this is something else that I believe in. I hate to get into politics again. Oversight. Someone with a brain who can actually look at something and think about it, rather than trying to have a formula or a system or a mechanism in place for it. I prefer to have a person who looks at it and says, hang on, and can catch stuff like that. Now, I will be keeping track, obviously, because of course I will. But if someone tries to double or triple dip, nope, and that's the answer to that. Because I made it to Balmora, Moon Knight! Can you believe it? So, Dark Day is putting it towards Dealer's Choice. Dragon Quest XI. Whoops, that's Shadow Machine. Oh yes, I should talk about Avatar too, because I don't think everybody's aware of that. And God of War 4, because that is on the list, actually. Thank you, Dark Day. Now we scroll up a little bit. I'm going to try to ignore Palmer for just a second, because now I need to say thank you to Command & Conquer 2. Thank you. If you know what up to 3 things you want to put that towards, please let me know. Jedi Survivor. ESO. The best part about the plural voting system, if I might be so bold, is I haven't even really had to explain why we're going with that system. Most people understand pretty much immediately, like, oh yeah, no, that's great. Yes, there's actually a sheet, which there's a command in chat for. I forget what it is. Might be sheet. But there is a spreadsheet, which is visible. It's actually, there's a link to it on the website, but I know there's a command for it. Hang on, we've tried to find it here. It's called Who's Put Money Towards What, is the name of the sheet. Oh, there it is. It is literally sheet. We're cool. And sheet is that. It's all the public information. It's the priority, it's the needed priority, it's the estimated hours of the game, the amount of money put towards the game, the number of funders put towards the game itself, how long it's been on the list, and the individual people and how much money they have put towards it. As I said before, I try to be as open and honest about everything as I possibly can. So that sheet, it's very similar to the one I keep track of on my end. It's just, it had to be adopted for Google Documents, and I had to get rid of a few formulas. So, then I need to scroll up because I'm not even caught up yet on existing donations. So I got something from Wraith. It's the previous one. So I don't even have the page up. Give me a second here. I wasn't expecting donations. I was just trying to get an announcement out. And I'll talk about Avatar. Don't let me forget. I would agree with that, Space Cadet. By the way, ping to you. I'm not sure I understand your comment, J. Palmer. So, obviously, you're putting it towards Ace Combat Zero, LEGO Star Wars, and WoW BFAS all. That's cool. But then you said reallocate Portal Reloaded to Ace Combat Zero. Cool, that makes perfect sense. But then you say, and the other two, if that's the way it works. What do you mean by that? Dude, the Fire Nation is just the best. No gods, no masters. Oh my god. I wasn't e-begging. Oh my god. Oh, I understand, Jay Palmer. It's only for new donations. There's a lot of reasons for that, but the biggest and most obvious reason is paperwork. If I start pluraling pre-existing donations, insert screaming here. So we're just doing that going forwards. So I will, however, put that towards Ace Combat 0. Lego Star Wars and MLBFA. I'll just do it up here. Make it easy. And we're reallocating from... Was Plural loaded, right? Yep, okay. To Ace Combat 0. Done. And now, Wraith donated. Thank you, Wraith, very much. Always appreciate, thank you. Wraith is donating towards... Oh my god, guys, I'm really not... we're a high elf, because Rax wanted us to be... Why are we a high elf, Rax? You never explained that. The worst race. So we're going with Resident Evil 8, the Alan Wake block, and Guild Wars 2.
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
I'm just standing here, lady. Dunmer. Okay, hang on. So now I'm playing catch up. So then I'm gonna skip that one for just a second. Nerozaz. It's donating for Alundra. You got it. Thank you, Nerozaz. I mean, can you blame them, Mira? They live on Morrowind, or Vardenfell to be more accurate. I'd be in a bad mood if I lived there too. I mean, the moment I start doing that, I'll let you know, Ross. Actually, do you want to hear something funny? It kind of is Dark Day. It's a harsh wilderness kind of a place. There's certainly rich people here, but most of the rich people here are rich because they are ranchers and slave owners. Or they're insane mages who have an open policy that it's okay to kill your fellow mages as long as you get away with it. I'm not making up either of those facts, by the way. So, FM Aylward. I don't actually know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. You said no bowing. I keep starting a bow and then stopping. I was like, nope. Nope. They said no bowing. Okay, no bowing. Thank you. I don't actually know what to say. So, yeah. Thank you. Today's been kind of a rough day. My emotions are a little bit more on the surface than usual. Give me a second. Oh my god. Okay. Most evil being in the Elder Scrolls universe? The writers. Are there good places to live in Tamriel? Honestly, it's actually reasonably decent to live in the Imperial Province of Cyrodiil. So that's kind of its own thing. So I got Nerozaz. Am I caught up? I think I'm actually caught up. Holy crap. Von Falkenstein. So, right, and I was going to talk about Avatar. Von Falkenstein. I decided after some thought to keep things simple, I'm going to go ahead and bake Thea 1 and 2 into a block. Just to keep that simple. I know that it's still mostly just you, but I think that's it works anyways, right? They're good block material, and that way you don't have to think about it. So, that's that. Thank you, Commander Cockatoo. Again. Ooh. I will jot that down. Give me a second here. Or Starfield. There's a game I'm actually looking forward to. Yup is like Dragon and Outer Worlds 2. And yeah, Cyrodiil isn't great if you're poor, but then again, everywhere's not great if you're poor in universe. Like, there's no idyllic place in Tamriel. Cyrodiil is probably just as good as it gets. Avatar. So, Avatar 1 is a terrible movie that sucks, and I hate it, and I want to destroy every... sorry, we're not talking about that. What we're actually talking about is Avatar the show. Now, let me, as usual, I like to drop the bombshell first. Let's see... What? Let's see if I can make it to the next town and don't die from a situation where I surely should die from what I'm about to say. So I'm talking about Avatar The Last Airbender, the show. Great show. That I don't like. Avatar is a very, very textbook example of coffee. Something I've talked about many, many times. No matter how well made the coffee is, it doesn't matter. It's coffee, right? Like that's the whole point of that phrase. It's actually, I think, the third thing I've ever described as coffee, and this goes back to before I ever had the show, before I ever started making YouTube videos or streaming, because Avatar has been around for a while. So, by the way, if you're wondering, the other show, because it was a show that I used to refer to as coffee, was Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. So I'm not into Avatar. Now, that's fine. Me not being into something doesn't remove it from consideration for streaming, whether it be streamation of a game, or streamation of the show, or stream of a game. Obviously. After all, I stream Secret of the Stars. However, Avatar The Last Airbender is a very beloved show. And I know a lot of people want me to cover it because it's a great show that they love and they want someone to really dig into the details and all that fun stuff. Now, I can do that. I know I can do that because I've done that before. I actually am capable and competent enough when I'm in the right headspace and when I'm on my game to look at something that I can't stand and just be like, this is this, and this is this, and this works here, and do my job, right? But I'm not there right now. This is embarrassing to admit. I am not in the headspace to be able to do my job sufficient for something like that. Because if Avatar was a show I loved, or a show I dug, sure, that's fine, no problem. If it was terrible, if it was this awful show, that's still no problem. Because I could just go through and go, ah! But instead it's something that y'all like. That is good, that I don't like. And I may die here. Where is it? Hang on, what's following us? Oh, no, he's trapped! Yes! Victory! Because that guy would totally kill the crap out of us. Morrowind, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't like it, Unpopular. Ironically, I know. But yeah, I gotta do it. Anyways. So, the Avatar The Last Airbender is in a weird place. It's not actually vetoed, it's frozen. So just let it go. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make the joke. What I mean by that is it's frozen right now. I'm not allowing any new additional donations towards it. And if anybody wants to reallocate off of it, they are, of course, allowed to do so. Let's go to the ghost wall. That sounds like a fun thing to do. Oh, there's another one. Oh god, and there's a frickin'... You see it, right? You see it! I remember just being lost in this game, immersion-wise, 20 years ago. But does that explain it? Does that get across the idea? I'm not saying no forever, and I'm not going to actually veto the show, but Avatar was very much on its way to probably being a show we would cover this year. And I don't think I can do that fairly. You guys deserve better. And frankly, the show deserves better too. That's it. I don't have anything else to add to that. Yeah, we probably should. So, something else. Yeah, I understand that what I just said is as soon as my life gets better, I'll cover it. I know that there's that asterisk there of because that relies on my life getting better, which may never happen. But as I say, hopefully other people who are much better at this job than me have already covered it for you, like what happened with Xenogears. So. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and Shadow Machine kind of prompted this here. Are we going to make it all the way to, I can't remember the name of the town, the Redoran main town? We might actually make it. Nope, there's a rat. There's a rat. This is it. I'm running. Oh, no wonder I'm making it so quickly. Hang on. There we go. So, one of the other things that needs to be discussinated. Discussinated? I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. This is the opposite of an actual review now. Potentially grouping games into blocks. I know, right, Ross? Nope. Basically, everybody stopped donating for Xenogears as soon as Resident Arc did their thing. Thank you, Zlartic. Always appreciate it. And if there's up to 2 other things you'd like to put that towards, please let me know. Oh, God. Why do games put something on caps lock? Anyway, so, there are... there's several games that are like in potential block territory. Let me actually pull up my spreadsheet here, my local one. I don't want blocks to get completely out of control. I mean, we've already got several blocks that are literally over 100 hours of streaming, like the Dragon Age block. So, you know. But we do have several things we've already blocked together. So there's 2 primary mentalities that go into making a block. One is obvious. They're the same franchise, but that's still not really enough. If I was to block together Super Mario Kart and Super Mario World, those games don't belong together, right? It's actually far more involved or far more relevant to try and block together games that review the same. And I do specifically mean review the same. Not just a game that's in the same genre, but a game that is actually designed similarly. Yeah, like the Ezio trilogy is a good example of that. Or, to use an example of the game I'm literally playing right now, the BRPG block, which is going to be Morrowind, Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas. All of which are going to be reviewing the same, right? Oh yeah, the Ganondorf trilogy. We already did that one too. Can you please save me? Thank you! She just one-shots it. Just immediately. We made it, though. Whatever this town's called. I never remember the name of this damn place. Ash Home? I don't know. Getting stuck on Terrainville. Alderruin, that's it. Alderruin. It's not necessarily the same engine. It's about similar design philosophy. Games that, again, to go back to my original phrase, would review similarly. One moment, please. I can't do it. No! Can't mute myself. Ahem. This is a walking simulator. Yeah, there's no mods whatsoever. Everything has been turned off. This is vanilla, and you can tell because the textures look like that. Anyways, thank you, Von Falkenstein. We'll put that towards the Thea block. So yeah, hang on. So I'm getting suggestions. I'm getting a little bit too many suggestions. So let me try and catch up a little bit here. Someone suggested Morrowind was Xbox, which is just a bit after PS2 and just around before the PS3. It's kind of a spot there. How does that work with Dragon Age? That's a very good question. So, the truth is, the reason the Dragon Age block got bundled together like that is because of request. So we obviously can make exceptions for specific situations like that. It's same with the Mana block. Several of the Mana games were considered very different from each other, but, you know, shrug. I guess I don't actually have anything else to add to that. End statement. Dragon Age was a special request because it's Dragon Age. The general request mentality that went into it was, hey, these games are all extremely long, and getting any of them funded individually is going to be weird, especially since Dragon Age 2 is going to take the least amount of time to fund because it's the shortest of the three. So why don't we just bundle them together? Okay, and we did it. Hell, Kingdom Hearts is going to have a similar problem. Chrono Trigger is its own thing. Chrono Trigger is its own thing. Yeah, Final Fantasy also differs quite a bit. Although so I've actually already done this. I know it's not live on the website yet. But I did decide to split the Final Fantasy runs, of which we had like 12, into 3. So there's FF13, which is over there by itself, in the corner where it belongs. Then we have... hang on, I'm trying to find it. Sorry, there's 600 items on this. So then we have the FF7 through 12 audit run. That's exactly what it sounds like. Going through 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, 12. That's it. No complexity there. The other one is the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. There's a little bit of a complexity to this one, because it's actually FF1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 Pixel Remasters. Good luck in Kurthus, CL. And thank you. Very, very much, as always. And Yura, if you would like to put those towards up to 3 things, let me know. You'll notice I skipped 4. Thank you for having a brain and paying attention. 4 is different. 3 might also be different, but I don't care that much about 3. Tactics is on its own. Tactics is over there in the corner. Right next to FF13. Because Tactics really is its own thing at the moment. But part of the idea was the Pixel Remasters are going to not only review relatively similarly, but so there's actually a lot of crap that goes into the FF series. Let's actually pause the FF talk for just a second. Because there's actually even more layers on top of this than I'm even going into right now. Because I want to do an FF1 block, and then I want to do an FF4 block. So I could actually remove FF1 from the Pixel Remaster block too, and that's probably not a bad idea. Anyway, so Yura is putting those towards Dragon's Dogma. Thief 1. Yeah, you get it, Rex. So, yeah, I want to review FF1 NES, and then, honestly, probably FF1 Pixel Remaster. I know there's other editions, but there's not that many differences between the PS1 version or the GBA Origins version, or I guess it's actually it for FF1. There's actually other versions, but they don't matter. So we've got, I want to review FF1 on the NES, and I want to review FF1 Modern. I don't want to review FF2 NES, because I've beaten FF2 on the NES. There's limits. There's limits. But then we could do FF2 modern version, FF3. FF3 is the debatable. It's just, I'm not sure I care enough, because we could do FF3, the 3DS version, and then, or sorry, the DS version, the 3D version that's on the DS. And then we could do FF3 Pixel Remaster. So we could do that with FF3 as well. We're definitely doing it with FF4. I've actually already talked to several people, and they're all into this. So the FF4 block is actually going to be 3 games. We're going to play FF4 on the original SNES, then we're going to play the DS version, then we're going to play the Pixel Remaster version. Now, there's actually several other variances there, all things considered. because I've studied way too much of FF4, and the PS1 version, the GBA version, the PSP version actually are different from each other in ways that would change the review. But I don't think they're different enough to warrant going back through the game again. So that's why we're only doing 3 FF4s instead of 6. Yeah, no kidding. Pillars of Snow. Ugh. So which version of FF8 would I review? That's a good question. But I'd probably go ahead and review the lackluster remaster. Among other things, it's just so much easier to stream. Well, it's not just extra content. I know a lot of people focus on that. But one of the things I've said so many times is ignoring the big obvious differences in things. There's little nuances and details which will change a review. Dialogue being translated differently, or specific mechanics or bosses functioning differently can change how a review works. And like I said, there actually are differences. Ignoring content, just in the same content between the PS1, the GBA, and the PSP versions. So... Oh, yeah, then there's After Years, which is over there in the corner. See you around, Imperial Star Destroyer. Actually, it's not quite that simple, Rex. All 3 of the versions I just mentioned all have different translations. What's really funny is one of them, I don't remember which, draws from the PS1 translation, but the other one draws from the SNES translation, which is just... I don't know. Scrolls for brains. I have no idea why they do what they do. Don't ask me. All right, so hang on. So let's see. So some people were suggesting... So Fire Emblems could be baked together. That's going to be a colossal block. Because Fire Emblem games are not short. We could exclude 3 houses from that. That's not a terrible idea. But we've also got several Warriors games. That's actually a good point. Because we got the Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors 1, Hyrule Warriors 2, and then we've got Fire Emblem Warriors. And I think that's it at the moment? That doesn't feel right. I thought there was another one. And then there's a donate. Why are you donating? Ah! Oh. Also, I didn't realize Minecraft. Yeah, both Minecrafts are on here. I think, yeah, let's just bake that together right now. That's an easy choice. StarCraft 1 and 2. Boom, done. We'll double up here, we'll double up here, and we'll double up here, and that is done. That's easy. So, Minecraft story mode, baked together. Good idea, Shadow Machine. Thank you. Oh! Oh, God, back. Very much, Blue Dragon, EXE. Always appreciate that. Thank you so much. The WoW block. It's a good question. Let's come back to that. Let me write this down really quick. Because the problem with the WoW block... So I'm probably going to... yeah, it's really good, too, J. Palmer. It's weird. We've actually streamed it before, but we never reviewed it. Mega Man Battle Network 1. Pokemon Violet. And RE4R. You got it. Thank you again. So... I know, right, Pillars of Snow? In all honesty, I wasn't going to do this today, but I really needed something to get my mind off of the water heater issue. That was a great way. Actually, the way I started my day was someone suggesting that I should make $15 an hour. I'm not going to get into that. But that's literally the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning. That's how my day started. Those of you in Discord, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so... Someone asked, can you add 3 new games to the list? So here's the deal. Yes? Please don't. And that's how that's going to work. I'm not going to make a rule. I'm not going to make a law or a mechanism or a system that says you cannot do that. I'm going to ask you politely to not do that. The list is already huge. Way too huge. The list being large is problematic for many reasons. There's psychological reasons. There's time consideration reasons. There's many problems with the list being as big as it is. In fact, one of the things I was thinking about doing, which is the monthly vote, cannot happen with the list being as large as it is. However, I will not artificially prevent you from adding 3 separate games to the list, if you would like to. Having said that, a quick proviso. So the Axe list, which has those are the games that were already axed. That's the Dead Fruit. All of that stuff is... Oh, shoot, I actually got that over here. Give me 1 second. I actually have a separate document, and that's all of the donations that were going towards that. It's mostly one person, $2, one person, $2. I will make this publicly available somehow. And if you're on this list, just say, hey, I want to reallocate it for such and such. That's cool. Here's the deal. Here's the proviso. You cannot add something new with a reallocation. I think I'm probably going to use that rule going forwards, too. Just in general. Like, Shadow Machine was like, hey, I want to remove some money from these shows to put it somewhere else. I think I'm not going to allow you to use reallocations to add something new. Partially for paperwork reasons, partially to discourage people from adding stuff to the list. I should just make this a freaking document and make it public. I'm going to do that really quick. Give me a sec. Yes, Ross. 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 12. It is FF1 or 7 through 12, like I said. There we go. Okay. Copy link. Here you go. This is the reallocation list. This is everything that was axed. If you're on, it's alphabetized. So, if you're on this list, you want to reallocate something, just let me know, and I'll make it happen. Listen, Rex. Yeah, I'm getting work done, okay? It's okay. I have gotten a lot of the Diablo rewrite scripted. I'm actually currently scripting Act 3 of D2 for a bit of perspective on where I am. Which I guess doesn't sound very far in, but maybe I'm... Okay, fine. I'm terrible and I suck. There. But that's as far as we are right now. Oh, there's Pesnator. Put that towards Invisible Link. Oh no, Shadow Machine. Alright, so back to blocks, right? Back to blocks. Now, let me give you something a little bit more fancy to look at. There we go. You like that distant texture of the ghost wall, which isn't even moving? Okay, so blocks. Help me. I'm sorry. I know several people have been suggesting, but that's why I asked people not to suggest until I was really ready for this. Hey, Pocket Jasmine. I know. I will say, no, reallocation goes towards one game. Just one. So a Pokemon block. So that's... Let me ask you guys something. I agree with that, Jay Palmer. How okay are you with blocks that are really big? Because... like, a Pokemon block is going to be gigantic, and it's going to take absolutely forever to get funded. How big are we talking? Well, give me a minute. I'll give you a number. But before I give you the number, excuse me, Wraith is putting everything towards Resident Evil 8. You got it. I also... So, okay. I'm not going to put Pokemon into a block. There's actually a good reason for that. But it is something we need to decide for other stuff. Okay, so we've got, that's, so 60, that's 100, 140, 220, 250, 295. So, for example, if I did that right now, that'd be 315 hours in one block. That's over a month. I'm okay with big blocks within reason. Really, I am. But it's something that I think needs to be thought about. Obviously, WoW is going to be a huge thing. But, I mean, it's WoW, right? FF14 is going to be a huge thing, sure. But, you know... yeah, Shadow Machine has the right of it. The problem is, Pokemon streams tend to be nice, good, discussion chill streams, right? And, that's cool, but that works best when they're split up. When we do Pokemon, and then we do something else, then we do Pokemon, and we do something else, right? That's my thoughts on that, based on experience. Hang on, someone just donated. Oh god, where'd the document go? I was just looking at it. It's right here. There it is. How long was FF14? Ace Attorney does have the same problem. Yes, it was from Johnny Bigby. Thank you, Johnny Bigby, very much. Always. I will put that towards the Dragon Age block. 106 VODs, and that's when we were streaming 5 hours per VOD. So what's 5 times 104, just to allow for some bleed off? That's 520 hours. Now, Valton asked an interesting question, does a block need to be played consecutively? The whole point of a block is to play it consecutively. If we're not playing it consecutively, then it's not a block. Like, I get what you're saying, but that is literally the whole point of that. There is another psychological reason for blocks to exist, but let's not get into that. I guess I'll go into it. The psychological reason for a block to exist is to help games get funded that otherwise wouldn't. Let me try to explain that a little bit. Let's assume, because this has actually already happened several times, it's why we started the block system. So let's say there's a game. I'm gonna make up some game. It's called Rax's Dragoon Adventures, and there's five episodes in it, right? Now, the first game kind of sucks because they didn't really know what they were doing yet. The second game was okay, but everyone loves the third game. Everyone hates the fourth game, and nobody cares about the fifth game. So the third game and the fourth game tend to get a decent amount of funding, and everybody ignores the other ones. And these ones just kind of linger in limbo. The logic here was, for people who actually want to cover the series... Yeah, it's Star Ocean. For people who want to cover the series, it was like, well, why don't we bake them together? That way we just play 1 through 5, like we recently did with Devil May Cry, which is one of the games that was baked into a block specifically for this reason. Because we were getting a whole lot of funding for 3, a little bit for 5, and that was kind of it. This also happened with the Trails of the Sky... Legend of Heroes Trails of the Sky and Trails of Cold Steel series. Both of those were getting funded out of order, and as I mentioned earlier, Dragon Age was the same way. Hang on, I heard some people who want to reallocate. Give me a sec. So it was Dr. Winter. Why are you over here? Move. Okay, so Dr. Winter, who is right here, is reallocating towards the BRPG block. And then Ciela has decided to buck trends and go for Xenogears. And then Kingdoms of... Why am I typing it that way? Umbral Magnus. There you are. Going towards Kingdoms of Amalur. Done. So a grid block. That's the other thing. So obviously there is a benefit to reviewing games side by side. Believe it or not, that's actually a relatively recent thing that I discovered just last year. For those of you who were actually there for it, we did a bit of a 2D platformer informal block. It wasn't really intended to be, it just kind of turned into one, but it was so much better from my perspective. And I know you don't give a damn, but for me actually doing the reviews, it was so much better to review Mega Man, Mega Man, Mega Man, Mega Man, Mega Man, and then Mario, and then I think that was actually it. There's one other platformer, I think. But anyways, to do those similar kind of games, to stay in the same lane for that long of a period of time actually worked out really well. So that's the other reason we bake things into blocks. So, let's see. So, someone... Hang on, let me get up documents everywhere. Meta documents. Here we go. So... Yes. There we go. So, one of the suggestions here was the Shining Force. So, I don't know anything about the Shining Forces. The only thing I know about the Shining Forces is that I have them right here on the Switch in the Genesis blog. I'm double checking that. Yep, there it is. Shining Force and Shining Force 2, specifically. I know nothing about Shining Force, so I can't speak to that. We're axing everything, Svatoslav! It's gone! It's nuked. It's dead. Okay, trying to think of how large a Turn-based, grid-based tactical game. Oh yeah, speaking of which, someone actually asked earlier, how often are games added to the list? That game was added 5 days ago. Then 2 days before that, then 3 days before that, then 2 days before that. 5 days, 2 days, 2 days, 5 days. Then we had a pause there. Then 2 days. Then 1 day. Then 1 day. Games are added to the list a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Games are added to the list very frequently. Well, thank you, Pesnator. No, it specifically only includes Vitiate. That's the whole point of that, Jay Palmer. Because even though Vitiate and Valkorion are the same character, in lore, what matters is the character we see on the screen, right? And different writers, different voice actor, different model, different animation. It is functionally a different character, even though in lore it's the same character. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go say that Gigapudding is the greatest elementalist I've ever seen, and also the only one. And yes, Tom is the Mass Effect 3 version of the Elusive Man. I actually forget what we called it. It was, what, the Obfuscating Man, I want to say? Something like that. So, Shining. Where's the Shining Force? There's the Shining Forces, so those are decently long. The Obvious Man, I like that. I like that. So if we bake those in, and then the Rabbids, which there's that one. Then we also have to get some music playing again. Yeah, his name's something really boring, but it doesn't matter. What was the other one you were suggesting for that, Shadow Machine? For the turn-based, grid-based tactical game block? Regalia, that was it. And then finishing off with XCOM, probably. Jack, that was his name, wasn't it? It's some really boring name. That's going to be a hell of a block, but it does make sense to review pretty much all of those games side by side, with the possible exception of the Shining Forces, which I just can't speak to. Listen, Larian! It's been a day, okay? It's been a day. So let's call this the Voice of Authorita block. I like it. Thank you very much, Voice of Authority. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So something I am going to resist putting into a block is CRPGs. And you're probably thinking, but why, Lord? That makes perfect sense. Yeah, but I want you to picture, really quick, in your head, playing, I don't know, Neverwinter Nights, Pathfinder, Tyranny, and, like, Pillars of Eternity back to back. Just picture that. And Planescape. And Baldur's Gate. Oh god, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Oh god. Okay, I'm okay. Yeah, Arcanum. Oh god, it's getting worse. And then Baldur's Gate 3. Oh god. Oh shoot, I'm gonna knock over my drink. I got it. I'm stuck. Oh my god. Hang on. Yeah, so, as I mentioned earlier, with the Pokemon situation, while there is a value in doing that, that's insane. We're not doing that. That would be so terrible. That would be months of that. So no, I'm just gonna veto the idea of a CRPG block right now. I forget what C is supposed to stand for in it. Resident Evil block. That's a good question. Yeah, we could bake together the Resident Evils into a block. Let me think about it. Let me acknowledge this donation first. So that was from Voice of Authorita to... Whoops. Well, right now, we're up to About half the votes I was expecting, comma. If more people would vote, maybe we could go ahead and tabulate the results, exclamation mark. What the heck, phone? Cucumber RPGs. God, I love a good cucumber RPG. Okay, so this is going towards Pentiment, Wrath of the Righteous, and Tyranny. Whoops. There we go. Resident Evil. That was the suggestion, so hang on. Because that's going to take a minute. So... yeah, there. I mean, kind of Shadow Machine. Again, oversight, right? Let's use our brains. Let's think about it. Let's not block everything together. I think there's several things we could block together. You need to do all 4, Mr. Treeman. We can only fit 10 entries per ballot because of the way the program works, and we had more than 10 entries, so that's why that's split up like that. I also need to ask you about the NES block and the SNES block. We'll come to that in just a moment. So, yeah, let's just block everything, every game. Oh my god. Hang on, how many hours would that be? I can actually do that pretty simply. Let me just calculate everything in row 4 here. Okay, maybe I can't because it's being done, but whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just a joke. Let's see. So I need Resident Evil. So we've got RE2R. We've got Resident Evil Revelations 1. Hello, Nugo. RE4R. RE5. RE1R. A lot of R's here. RE8. And that's actually it. That's what the list is right now. And honestly, I'm okay with that. That's actually a decent chunk of games. And I have no interest in covering 3 again. So I'm totally cool with that. And I really have no interest in 7. Oh yeah, we're also not doing a Yakuza block. We actually decided that already. That's something that's already been brought up and dismissed. I have no water. Because the Yakuza games are nice, big, long games that are difficult. That's another thing. Certain types of games require a level of concentration, for lack of a better way to put it, from me. And they actually mentally burn me out. Smash Brothers and Mortal Kombat 11, as well as the Devil May Cry games, are examples of games that were absolutely burning me the hell out. And when I say burning me out, I mean I was losing words. Like, I could, in the evening when I was hanging out with my friends, I couldn't talk properly because I was just mentally gone. So, we're not baking very intense mental straining games together either. Also, yeah, the Yakuza games are big and we want to do all the side content, and let's not do that. So, Yakuza 2, pretty sure it's on the list. Well, why wouldn't it be? Yeah, it's right there. Yakuza Kiwami 2. Worse than Jedi Knight? You mean Jedi Fallen Order? Yeah, much worse. What? Giga Pudding? Yeah, a Persona block. Let's not go into that. I was gonna say, several Yakuza games are on the list. They've just been kind of... so. Oh, worse than Tor Jedi Knight. Much worse. Because Tor is boring. That's different. I can provide my own mental stimulation if I have to. In fact, that's, you know, chat's there too, right? I'm talking about something that requires so much of my focus and attention that it just burns me out mentally. You know, literal mental exhaustion is a thing. But anyways, okay, so let's talk the NES block and the SNES block. What game burned me out the hardest? Smash. Smash Bros. Ultimate. I was having real difficulty by the end there. That was destroying me. And that game just requires you to just do match after match after match after match after match after match, and I started losing time during that game. Anyways, am I hyped for Fallen Order 2? We'll see. Yeah, no kidding, Rosas. NES block and SNES block. So this is my own suggestion. Actually, we've already had donations towards the SNES block. The question is, what exactly do we include in the NES block and the SNES block? Because there's several games in there that really don't belong together, but a lot of NES and SNES games are really short. And that was kind of the mentality. What do you think, I suppose? Because that's just kind of the question, and I'll go ahead and take my headphones out here. Put on my shark hat. There we go. Get ready to hit the old dusty trail with my shark. Ugh. Now you're probably thinking, well, here, let me give you a generic answer, but I don't actually want a generic answer. I want a specific answer. You may not know this, I got a big old tote right here. Actually, I've got 4 of them. And these are all the games I want to stream. There's a bunch. I think this is the wrong thing, maybe? Well, there's Breath of Fire 3. This actually might not have anything from that block. Never mind, this is all, like, more modern stuff. So, give me a minute. I see, the problem is I don't know where to put this, especially since I just had to empty my closet to make room for the new water heater. I have 4 totes, Dark Day. This is all the stuff that I have been wanting to stream for several years now. I'm not trying to sound, like, resentful or anything like that. I'm just saying, I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Okay. What's funny is what I'm doing right now is actually something that was on my list of things to get done during the long dark. So, what do we got? Let's make this. Here we go. What's this? Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So we've got a couple NES games. I'll figure out how long these games are later. It doesn't matter right now. We got Double Dribble. Till I'm done, Von Falkenstein. Or until tomorrow when I have some other random stream to do. So that's apparently the route right here. Boy and his blob. See, like a game like this, you know how long this is going to take to stream? I'll give you a hint. 1 hour. Double Dragon 2. What else we got here? Jeopardy. FF1. That's actually not going to be a part of this. That's going to be part of the FF1 block. Wizards and Warriors. These are all NES games. Chip and Dale 1. Castlevania. Now that could be part of something else. I'll put that in a maybe. Castlevania 2. What else we got? So Zelda, that's actually part of the Zelda block. That over there. Little Mermaid. Now you're probably thinking, oh, you're dumb. But actually, this was back when Capcom made good games. I know, shocking thought. And they made a lot of Disney games. In fact, most of the good Disney games ever made were made on the NES by Capcom. Oh, what else we got here? Batman. Now, I know you know who Batman is, but how many of you know what this game is? Real question. This is a damn good game. Hard as crap. Batman. Kirby's Adventure. Those are more SNES era. Still good. But also by Capcom. Go figure. DuckTales. Do I need to explain this one? We could bake this in with the DuckTales remaster, though. Or we could make a Disney block. Something to think about. Ninja Gaiden, again. Is that Ninja Gaiden 2? Did I already put that down? No, I did not. Okay, so we've got Bubble Bobble. Never beaten this game. Bubble Bobble, DuckTales, and Ninja Gaiden 1, specifically. I do not own Darkwing Duck, no. It's an empty case. Punch-Out! That's obvious. Double Dragon 1. Castle of Illusion? That's SNES. Y'all are a bit ahead of me. Give me a second. Also got some random N64 games. I guess I should add these. Let me go ahead and add the N64 games to the list here. Oh, I'm going to play the crap out of Punch-Out. I'm going to suck at it. So we got Ogre Battle 64, Bomberman 64. Another game I've never beaten. Smash Bros. The original. Where'd I get these cases? Where did I get these cases? Stone Age Gamer, specifically. And then all of these are actually custom printed. All the labels. Here, I'll start facing them this way. So you can see the games. There we go. Think about how tall this is, by the way. Yeah. We got... This is part of the Mario Kart block. Hold up, could someone do me a favor? Because I'm losing access to my desk. Is the Mario Kart block already on the website? Already on the list? Because it's something I've been wanting to do for years. Like, I've actually already done some of my prep research work for this. Because of how excited I am to do that series. It's not on the list. Okay, well. I know y'all want to play this game. And especially this one. That's just a classic right there. Yeah, the ages of... I was actually thinking about smashing several RTSs together. Probably not StarCraft, though. StarCraft is kind of its own thing. There's the original Metroid, which will be part of the Metroid block. Dig Dug 2, which nobody's ever played. And, of course, Ninja Gaiden 2. Don't fall. Don't fall. I actually didn't like Dig Dug 1. I played the crap out of Dig Dug 2. I've actually beaten Dig Dug 2. And when I say beaten, that's not quite what I mean. It's both empty. Because for those of you who've played Dig Dug 2, you know what happens is it actually loops. The texture palette, or the color palette, excuse me, gets a little bit different. But otherwise it just loops. So that's all the ones from this tote. Being a little careful here. Don't mind me. Do you even have music? Can you hear music right now? You probably can't. Listen, Blade Traval. Yeah, Morrowind has this weird thing where it won't play music. It'll keep playing existing music, but it won't start new music unless you're tabbed to the game. So screw it. I got this. Star Fox. Is Star Fox on the list? Because we should totally do a Star Fox block. Seriously, that actually sounds awesome. Although, I'm going to have to find a very legal copy of Star Fox Assault. Oh, don't mistake me. I actually own Star Fox Assault. But streaming from a Wii is a pain. So that's 2 blocks that I'm very interested in that are not even on the list. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay. Blue. Here for a second, please. Thank you. No, I own Assault. I just need a streaming copy of Assault. I own Adventures, too. I'm a weirdo. This is a Christmas gift from my sister. Actually, you want to hear something funny? Hang on. There we go. And I can see it. So, I go up for Christmas, and I get a couple little things, right? Like a little Game Boy thing, little Goomba thing, the coin thing, and the clock. Cool. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Days later, they're like, hey, you left all your Christmas presents here. And I'm like, no, I didn't. So they forgot to give me my Christmas presents. This was like the extra stuff, the miscellaneous gifts. I still haven't gotten my Christmas presents. It's just a tin. It had candy in it. Terrible candy. But it's okay. Because it looks cool, and I'm going to keep that for it. Oh, I got a donation. Wait, I can actually do a full bow. Hang on. Thank you, Shadow Machine. Always appreciate. I think that was 15. Yes, it was. Okay. Ugh. Thank you. Now I gotta jot that down, so it's gonna be actually harder. It is a good core workout. One of my favorite core workouts. Really, really simple one. So just put your hands up, and then you just go straight down like this, and up. Real simple. Don't do it too much. It'll hurt your back. That's going towards shooters, blood, and teeth. I'm very looking forward to. Oh, don't do crunches. Seriously, do not do crunches. Crunches are the highway towards ruining your back, and don't even work out your abs as well as they should. I learned that in high school when I actually started studying physical fitness. Not to be confused with PE, which doesn't tell you anything about physical fitness. Star Fox block. And Mario Kart block. Thank you, Shadow Machine. I'm super looking forward to those blocks. I mean, yes, Dark Day. To be blunt. There's a lot better things you can do for your abs. So, first of all, wait, hang on, let me stand. Ahem. Thank you, Blue Dragon. Always. What's the difference between sit-up and crunches? That's actually a good question. Rather than explain that literally, let me explain by analogy. Would you believe that just the way you hold your head while doing a push-up completely changes which muscles you're exercising? It's another thing I learned early on when studying actual physical fitness is that posture and movement are very important and completely change an exercise. Mario Kart block, Star Fox block, and Mega Man Battle Network. You got it. Yeah, I don't know about you all, when I went to PE, I didn't learn jack. Nothing. Granted, my PE teacher was terrible. There's no little exercise you can do. Don't do this if you're not sure. Oh, I do that to stretch my back, though. And you're probably thinking, what did you just do, Lore? I'm not explaining it. Don't ask me to. All right, so. Okay, fine, I'll explain it. So, legs as close together as you're comfortable with, right? Now, the goal is you want the bending over to come from here, right at the small of your back. it'll feel different from the top of your back, right? So you want to kind of just curl yourself down like this, like I'm doing, see? And then you want to go straight down, as much straight down as you can. Don't be worried if your hips go back. That's fine. That's just balance. Now, everyone has different limits, depending on how limber you are. I can put my palm on the ground without bending my knees, and that's the important part. Don't bend your knees. But if you can't do that, don't stress it. Most people can't. I stretch every day. That's why I can do that. You hold it for a few seconds. I hold it for about a minute. And then you bend your knees. Very important. Everybody skips this step. Bend the knees. Then, again, from the small of your back, like that. Make sense? It's a really good general stretch. I do it before I go to sleep. If you have any kind of back pain while sleeping, this is something that helped me out. That's why I'm sharing it. That's why I'm talking about it. Now, I do a lot of other stretches too. And we could get into the difference between dynamic stretching and static stretching because of different things. Point is, that very basic stretch, straight down, straight up, helps the back, reduces some of the stress and strain on the back, helps with sleeping. Less pain, better sleep. That is, ironically, one of the few things in life that is actually simple. Alright, so this is a grab bag. But there's already a SNES game I want to try. Start adding that to the SNES thing. That is Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I could teach workout stuff, but I am far too self-conscious to do that because I am fat and ugly. I'm not saying that to be derogatory. That's the truth. I am not in the shape I want to be in. And I know why, and I can't do anything about it. I have a very large chest and a very large stomach. And this is all muscle, and it looks like crap, and I hate it. I shouldn't say fat. That's actually literally a lie. I am not fat. Like this right here, which I hate, by the way. This is all skin. So what happened is when my life was being destroyed, I ballooned up quite a bit, right? Yeah, exactly, Pillars of Snow. So I ballooned up. I gained a lot of weight. Fat. Actual fat. Probably because I was stress eating and was going through the worst part of my entire life. Now, I then exercised a bunch once that was all dealt with in order to get back into some kind of shape. But for anybody who knows how this works knows you have this leftover skin. This sucks. I hate this. You know, I actually do jaw exercises. I actually do neck exercises, which is why my neck looks as big as it does, by the way. Especially if I actually stretch those neck muscles. Because I actually have a really strong neck. But it looks like crap. Okay, so I don't think anybody wants to see me stream this. I mean, really. It's just some Brooklyn dude killing monsters. No, I know, Von Falkenstein. This is going to take surgery. I'm going to have to actually get skin removal surgery to get rid of that crap. That's just what that is. Hate it. Moving on. This is just miscellaneous. Those are PS2 games, which are already on the list. We already baked the Xenosagas together. It's going to be a long one. Mario and Luigi, already there. Skate 2. I am very strong. That's not bragging. That's just a statement of fact. What is this? Oh, it's Sonic Colors. Okay, here we go. Breath of Fire. That's an interesting question. What do we do with Breath of Fire? Because we could do a Breath of Fire block. 1, 2, and 3. Well, the other thing about being strong is knowing how to apply it. It's actually easier than you'd think to build muscle. It is substantially harder to know how to apply that muscle. It's one of the reasons why I studied physical fitness. No 4. Screw 4. 4's dead. 4's dead to me. Bunch of 3DS games. Are any of these not on the list? I think several of these are not on the list. These are custom boxes, cardboard games. Just to prove, cartridges in there. But as you can see, it's a custom box. It's actually supposed to be for N64 or for SNES games. And then this is self-printed artwork. And by self-printed, I mean I took a bunch of PNGs to the UPS store. Use their printer. Mario Kart, Woolly World. This would be excluded. No, we should play Star Fox Zero. I'm going to have to actually stream from the Wii U, though, to do that. Which I can do. Like the only Wii U game. Okay, judgment call. Do we include this in the Star Fox block? We've actually streamed this game. By the way, I actually like this game. Problem is it's a Wii U game, and it's not on anything else. And a lot of yeses. I'm okay with doing it. I just... Because it would be Star Fox 2, which is actually available now legally. Star Fox 64. Star Fox Adventures. Maybe we'll move that out of the block. And then Star Fox Assault, and then Star Fox Zero. How do you stream a Wii U game of this caliber? Well, you just don't stream the controller. Adventures is... Okay. Picture a bad Zelda game, and that's Adventures. It's not a bad game in its own right. But like if you think of the level of quality that Zelda games are at, and then you drop down several notches, down here is where Adventures is at. That's... Yeah. By the way, this is a gift from a friend of mine. Some of you will get this immediately. I can really get that up there so you can kind of see. Yes, this is a Famicom copy of Secret of Mana. That is to say, Seiken Densetsu 2. It's one of my collector's items. None of them. Dark Day, that's kind of the point. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Alright, so hang on. I just got a donation. Or rather, a thingy that isn't a donation. Where's my... God, I've got so much stuff here. From Tim and Ash. So, Tim and Ash wants to put it towards three things. Pentiment. Wrath of the Righteous. And/or Streaminations. Which is exactly how that works. $2 towards each. It's exactly how the system works. You got it on the button. That will also work for Patreon. It works for everything. It's universal. Works for bits, or not bits. It works for the coins, the things you just did. It works for Patreon. It works for bits. It works for subs. It works for Stripe. All of it. All right. How many of you even remember what these are? This is what we call an age check. This one's a little more obvious. Same thing, same purpose. Eric, of course, doesn't know what these are. Hang on. How about this? Thank you, Eric. As always. Hello, Frog Animation. I've got a bunch. So it's funny. This is what the 3DS case looks like without a slipcover. I'm not sure why. Like, I've always wondered, why do they have Why is it chopped out? Wouldn't this be harder to produce than not? This is what it looks like when you actually get the cover on it. I don't know. Weird. What's this? Bravely Second. Nobody cares about this. What else have we got on the miscellaneous before we hit the SNES stuff? Xenosaga. That's part of the Zelda block. That's Suikoden Tactics, which is already on the list. Why is that cheaper, though? I believe you. I believe you. I know nothing. So, SNES games. Behold the glory of, honestly, the second worst Mario Kart game. What? Mario Kart block. Yeah, that's the original. Also known as F02, for those of you who get that. Okay, so SNES games. What do we got here? I really don't think anybody wants to see me stream this, so we're just going to put that down. I know nobody wants to see me stream this, which is funny because it's on the list by itself. Nobody's ever heard of this. None of you know what this is. Don't lie to me. I probably don't. No, I definitely don't, Pika. K.A.? Kids to Adults. No, I do not. Oh, actually, I do. No, I don't. Never mind. I only own one Super Famicom game. And the person who gave it to me is literally in chat right now. We've actually streamed this. So this should go on the shelf. That's where all my other SNES games are. Right. A lot of these were before the Oblivion line. But you are recent. Yoshi's Island, that's going to be part of the 2D block. It's already funded. Now, okay. A little bit, Don, a little bit. I left it out with an what do you call it, an oxygenator or whatever for a bit. To try and get rid of the smell. So, this was my first management game. And began my love affair with management games in general. It was also the first time I'd ever heard of this franchise. How many of you have played this game? Because it is a different edition. It is different from the original. I would love to stream this game. I used to play the snot out of this game. And you're probably thinking, oh, but it's because you love management games. Yes. Oh, it's because it's a great game? Alright, Laura. Why did you play this game so much? So my beloved mother was very anti-video games. Which I know sounds strange, considering everything behind me right now. But she begrudgingly and through gritted teeth tolerated my video game habit. Now, I earned this, because the way it worked was really simple. Job first, game second. That's how that worked. If all my crap was done, you know, obviously I was getting straight A's in school, that's whatever. As long as all the crap was done around the house, because that was all my job, you can go and play video games. Now, oh, she still does that, Eric. I bought her a Kindle, so she can do it that way. The thing is, at one point in time, she mentioned how much she disliked... it's actually about 40%, Don Crow. I actually looked just a few days ago. She really disliked how violent video games were. Because, I mean, Yoshi's World is just... it's just so violent. There's just death and destruction everywhere. Oh my god. And just blood everywhere. So I actually bought this game, my own frickin' money, specifically to prove a point. I had her sit down and play it with me a little bit. And so, every now and again, when I needed to make sure that my mother knew that I wasn't just running around killing people in Doom because she was buying into the common consensus that was going around in the early 90s. You know the one. That I was playing SimCity, that I was one of the good ones. So I played that a lot. Speaking of Star Fox, over here because you already covered this. If Baron was here, he'd recognize this one. Now here's a funny thing. We will not stream this game because this game is not sufficiently distinct from the DS game version, which I already own. So this will just go there. We've already streamed this game. I don't think it's recent. Could someone do me a favor and double check? Mist of all things, Eric. See you around, Bella Kelly. So what you're saying is I'm violent and sexy, Yura. Clearly Yura's delusional. Seriously, is this post? I don't think it's post-Oblivion line. Because we played this, Terranigma, and the other one I can't think of the name of. And I don't remember if this is post-Oblivion line. I know, right? Especially because got the, I don't know if you can tell, it's got these edges that stick out quite a bit from the edge there. Soul Blazer, that's the one. The Quintet Trilogy. We've streamed all three of them, but I don't remember if they're recent. Seriously, do I have to pull this up on my phone? Hang on. Because I need to know. I'm staring at it. It's fine. Whoops. Actually, there is a phone sealant on the camera, though I've never needed it. Here we go. Illusion of Gaia. Illusion of Gaia. Not. Okay, so we have not reviewed Illusion of Gaia currently. What about Terranigma? Not that I want to re-review Terranigma. Terranigma is recent. Terranigma is post-Oblivion line. Wow. What about Soul Blazer? Nope. Okay. So, Illusion of Gaia. Add that to the list. And another game you've never heard of. Don't lie to me. If you've heard of this game, if you know this game, this game. So this game is the sequel to Battle Clash earlier, right? It's what do they call it? The Bazooka games. One of the Bazooka games. It probably says on here. Super Scope, that's what they call it. So, you go around, you're mechs fighting other mechs. Cool, right? And I thought it was pretty cool. But I want you to follow with me. I'm going to spoil the crap out of this game, okay? So, spoilers. So Battle Clash was running around fighting other mechs on Earth. Okay, that's cool. And then this game is running around fighting other mechs on Earth until you get to like the fourth guy, at which point you go to the moon. Then you go to Neptune and Jupiter and Pluto, fighting mechs. Then a giant alien ship shows up and aliens invade. And then you fight what I can only refer to as a demon mech. And then it turns out that he's actually the subservient of some other super ultra demon who has his own demon mech. And if this all sounds very banal and normal to you, it's because you watch anime. It's not intended as an insult, but this was one of my first exposures into what I can only refer to as anime. You know what I mean when I say that. The particular cadences and story beats of how anime tends to progress. It was, weird. And I kind of hated it, to be completely honest with you. I liked the game, because the game was fun, but it was just like, what? What do I mean by a coffee game? I've never explained to you how I use the term coffee. Because I'm a weirdo and have to insist on my own terminology, and then use it consistently and persistently in the way that it's supposed to be used so that people pick it up over time, which has worked my entire life. So I don't like coffee. I used to call it Elvis. There actually is a Bikini Glad girl. She's one of the aliens, but it's okay. She's a good alien. You can tell because she's hot. All the other aliens are like... Not making that up. So, coffee is something I don't like. That doesn't make coffee bad. It makes coffee something I don't like. The distinction for coffee is that it has to be something I can acknowledge as good, while at the same time, something about it simply is not my thing. Right? That's coffee. Originally, I called it Elvis because I can't stand Elvis. But Elvis was a very talented singer. To say otherwise would be silly, right? And of course, again, the key distinction there, it's not just something I don't like. That's just something I don't like. Coffee is something I have to mentally look at and say, yeah, that's probably good. Probably very well made. Now, black licorice, a little bit different. Black licorice is when I can't recognizance? Cognate? We'll say cognate. Black licorice is when I can't cognate that people like it. They do. They demonstrably do. I know people personally who like black licorice. In fact, Gary, for example, likes black licorice. But I cannot compute, good word, why like people liking that. Because black licorice, for those of you not aware, literally makes me throw up. It actually hits my gag reflex. I mean, just the scent of it will hit me immediately. Accidentally chewing some, I have pretty good control of myself, so I probably won't throw up on the spot, but I will be rinsing the crap out of my mouth while I try to avoid vomiting. It is such a visceral and immediate reaction that I cannot understand people liking it. People do. That's black licorice. One more. Yes, Frostmourne is over there. Alright, this shouldn't be much. This is Game Boy stuff. A Game Boy block? That's Mario and Luigi. It's already covered. What music is playing right now? Oh, it's Storm Peaks. It's on random, that's why. Which Game Boys did I own? I owned the original GBA, which I then sold for food. Then my girlfriend at the time bought me an SP, which I actually still have. Right here. Then everything else, basically. Because not too long after I got this DS. And I have like three 3DSs for streaming purposes. Alright, here. Nobody knows what a Game Genie is. I don't even know what this is. I have never liked coffee, no. I was originally thinking of calling the phrase alcohol. But honestly, I think more people could understand the term coffee than the term alcohol. Because I can't stand alcohol. Pokemon Black, that's already on the list. A lot of these are going to be already on the list. Heroes of Mana. Ah, that's a terrible game. Also already on the list. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about this. Nobody cares about that. I don't even know who those people are. Also already on the list. Now, I'm pretty sure nobody in chat gives a damn about this game. Which is good, because we'll never stream it. We will be streaming the PSP version of this game. How do you like this movie? Be honest. That's already on the list. That's already on. A lot of these are already on the list. Need to make more room. Here. Here's the game we'll be streaming soon. Oh no, I'm showing you my key. Doesn't even apply anymore. In there. So now it goes that way. Starbucks, obvious. Also already on the list now. Ratchet and Clank, already on the list. A lot of these are already on the list. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? Now you're probably thinking, what do they do? This is a DVD case, okay? It's also what they use for PS2 and GameCube and Xbox. It's the standardized case size. It's perfect for it. This is a PS4 case. It is just different enough to be really frustrating to try and get it to sort either on a shelf or in a bin. Dang it. Really quick. Thank you, creator. Always appreciate if you would like to put that towards 2 more things of your choice. Please let me know. Now, what's funny? I don't think I have. In fact, I know I don't have any of them here. How many of you remember the Garfield books? They were like this, right? I know why those are so differently shaped. It's because it was discovered very early on that Garfield books fit perfectly on the little side shelving right next to the cashier. So they actually specifically kept printing them like that so they could put them right there by the cashier. There is actual evidence that that really boosted Garfield book sales. This is the Game Boy Advance. Rune Factory 3. Let's not actually throw that. There's a game in there. hang on. Ugh, there we go. Okay, here you go. Just for you, Rax. God, that is one damaged looking CD. It doesn't work anymore either. I don't know if you can even tell that it's scratched to hell. It is super scratched. Does not work at all. Super Mario Land. So, this is something I've been debating. There's the Game Boy ones, right? And there's Super Mario Land 1 and 2. And then there's Wario Land 1, 2, and I believe 3. And I'm pretty sure all of those are Game Boy games. I was thinking, rather than put this as part of the Mario 2D block, make this basically the Wario block. This is kind of the outlier. Mario Land 1. But Mario Land 2 and then Wario Land 1, 2, and 3 are all basically Wario games. They're all designed the same way. What do you think? So let's go ahead. That's going to be Mario Land. Yeah, no matter what you do, Mario Land 1 is going to be an outlier. It doesn't belong in anything. It's not designed... This, I'll talk about it when we get there. This is not designed like any other game. in the franchise and possibly ever. It was literally a tech demo for the Game Boy. And God, does it show. Alright, so we'll call that the Wario block. PSP games nobody cares about. Now we'll be streaming this. The city is not on the list, is it? Maybe it shouldn't be. But this is something I'd like to stream someday. Do I like Mario Land? No. Mario Land 1. There's some nostalgia there. But that's it. What do I have? Oh, right, that's why. I'm debating Duodecim. Oh, yeah, okay. Ross, are you there? Might find that amusing. And there's that, because I'm a sap. I'm not sure about Duodecim. That's kind of a tricky one. Alright, so I'm actually not going to bring all these out. These are actually nicely sorted. So what we're going to do... Yeah. Let's go to this. There we go. Like this. Down in front. Okay, we got a bunch of games here. What do we got? What do we got? Kingdom Hearts? I? Anybody ever heard of that? Also Devil May Cry 3. While we're on the subject. The only one I have a physical copy of. Which can go up here now. Because we actually did cover it. Which something else I've been meaning to do. It's as good a time as any. I'm gonna start removing games from the Oh, sorry, Kingdom. Alpha Centauri. You got it, creator. Give me 1 second. Where's my PSP stuff? There it is. The VR games will never be reviewed. No, they are straight hard vetoed. Now, can you guess why? If you guessed, I don't feel like spending $500 for one game, that's a good guess. But the physical discomfort, the nausea, and the headaches, the real problem. Why don't we do that now? So hang on. So we've got... BOF 2 is not current. Super Metroid is not current. The Donkey Kongs are not current. And Secret of Mana is not current. None of these are current. Oh, I would love a proper remake of Alpha Centauri. Honestly, just update the HUD, the interface, and the controls. I don't even care if they don't touch the graphics. Just make the game better to play. Done. Yes, I know there are fan patches that do that. Now, gotta go over here. So, we haven't done Paper Mario, we haven't done Banjo-Kazooie. Please don't re-add this to the list. We have done Quest 64, Diddy Kong Racing, R64, and those else. Those are current. Those are current. We are doing a strange stream, but my crib is very boring because it's an apartment and I don't care about decorating it. The only part of this entire apartment I've decorated is right behind me. Okay, so we've got Zelda, Final Fantasy, Mega Man. So I haven't streamed that. That's actually it from that list, though. I'll just remove you and put you down here. What do we got here? Mario, Mega Man, Dragon Quest. That's actually all good. And so there's that. Through that. Oh god, that's a lot of Switch games. And PS. Oh god. Okay. We'll come back to those. Yes, Giga Pudding. That is a true statement. Alright, so. Game Boy games. Jeez Louise. So there's the Mario Lands. Got them right here. In fact, sorry, hang on. There we go. Ah, what? Oh, there you go. Boom. Check it out. Right here. Wario Land. Don't clip that. These things are slippier than they look. There you go. There's the Wario Land block right there. That's locked in. Okay, what do we got? Oh my god, why do I own that when I know the answer to that? Why do I own these terrible games? That'll be part of the monoblock. Okay, so we don't really have much for a potential Game Boy block, but here's Kirby's Dream Land, the original, which is not that good of a game. For the time, for the Game Boy, it wasn't bad. But have you ever gone back and replayed this? The original? Not the NES one. The NES one's actually a good game, even now. This one. But that's not the terrible game I was referencing. See how many of you can figure out what this is at a distance. Yes, I have Saga 1, 2, and 3. Please don't make me review these. Just... If you haven't played these games, I don't really know how to explain in simplicity. They're... Oh. Yeah, they're their own thing. I'm amazed the Saga series kept going. Then again, Pokemon Gen 1 was kind of terrible, so what the hell do I know? What else we got here? Some Zelda games. Do me a favor. Can someone check? I know you all are ignoring me and not checking the website, but can someone check Lufia Legend Returns? Or Lufia 3? Just Lufia. Is it on the list? Okay, put that there. Now. Oh, I've got it. Hang on. So, those of you who are from Discord, that was the gentleman that I mentioned who came by to look at the water heater. Why would you do that, Gigapudding? I currently, as of this exact second in time, no longer have hot water. Probably a good thing. They shut it down, closed the water valve, so no more risk of it getting worse and exploding. Friday, at the earliest, is the ETA for the new one showing up. More likely Monday. Anyway, someone asked about the GBA cases. I actually already answered this, but I'll go ahead and repeat myself. So these are all from Stone Age Gamer, all my cases. The DS cases are not, actually. But the NES, the SNES, the N64, the GameCube, these are all custom cases from Stone Age Gamer. The only downside is they're a little slick when put next to each other, but they're nice, they're sturdy, they're thick, and they have the sleeve. I'm going to try and show this off a little bit, but you can kind of see custom box art. It's fine, FML word, it's fine. I'm just going to go without showering for a week. Now, most of these, I just use the pre-existing artwork. But the thing I like about custom artwork is it allows you to custom it. So, for example, this is my Mega Man 1 box. Which, if anybody's familiar with this... there we go. If anybody's familiar with this, you'll know this is not the actual, original box art. And I got a couple like that. I got Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3 there. So, I remember cold showers. Yeah, that was not a fun part of my life. Moving on. It's time to jump on a knife. No, okay, so. Where the hell was I? Tetris, right. So I've got a couple of generic Game Boy games, which I'm not sure what to do with. Did anybody check, is Lufia on the list? Lufia Legend Returns. It is. Okay, thank you. So we'll go ahead and put that over there. Just what I thought. All right, so what else we got here? Suikoden Tyrcris. Vetoed. All right, what else we got? Sticks. Where's 6? There's 9. Oh well. Anybody want to see me hold several $100s in my hand? I'm not sure where 6 is, but this is Dragon Quest 4 and 5 and 9. Good luck getting a hold of these nowadays. Thankfully, I bought them as they came out. So that's where that's going to come from. All these are already on the list, so that's whatever. I haven't decided what to do about this game yet. Maybe we should do a stream of it. This should probably be added to the 2D block. I'm going to make a note of that. So this is a game called From the Abyss. It's on the DS. How many of you have even heard of this game? Which game did I veto fastest? That recent gore game, I can't think of the name of. I don't even know what genre this is, off the top of my head. I think it's a dungeon crawler. And you're probably wondering, how do you own a game that you don't even know the genre of? So, you may or may not know this, but my sister is not into video games. Oh, she will play video games, but she is not a gamer. That's not her primary vehicle for entertainment, right? This was her copy of this game. It was one of the only games she owned. And the first time we ever met in person, she actually brought this with her as a gift to me. Because it has a two-player co-op mode, as a lot of DS games did. And she wanted to play this with me. And then she gave it to me. So I should probably do a review of this someday. Whatever it is. Let's see. What else we got? Luigi, Pokemon, there's Mario Kart, more Mario Kart. I got a lot of Mario Kart. More Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon. Pokemon for days. There's another Mana game, another Pokemon game, another Zelda game. There's a game we'll have to discuss. There's some Fire Emblems. Star Fox. Alright, so this is another game that honestly probably should not be streamed. It's called Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. If I'm remembering correctly, this is the one that is concurrent with 4. So part of the HD verse, specifically. This game sucks. It's a top-down. It's a top-down driving game on the DS. That's probably all I need to say, but I want you to really think about that. I want you to really process playing a top-down driving game on the DS. For perspective, this postage stamp right here was your screen for that. The camera was pretty smart. I'll give it actually that. I did play a bit of it. I got a decent amount into it. And then finally gave up. Metroid Prime Hunters. No, I never actually got into it. I didn't like it. Kind of whatever. There's also Federation Force, which I'm okay with not streaming. In fact, I'm just going to veto that right now. So, vetoed. That goes there and that goes there. And the rest of that's actually assorted. So, I was expecting more. There's only 2 Game Boy games that aren't accounted for in some other block. Tetris and Kirby's Dream Land. Kirby block? Because we've got Return to Dreamland coming out soon. Excuse me, Return to Dreamland R, the remaster, coming out soon. And we've got Forgotten Land, which just came out a few months ago. How long would Tetris take to review? Honestly, probably about an hour. And you're probably thinking, that's so long. Would you believe there's an interesting history going into the making of this game? It would probably be 30 minutes of me explaining the history and the backstory and the behind the scenes. And then we'd play the game for 5 minutes, and then we'd audit the review. It is interesting, though. There's actually some cool history that goes into that. Here's what I'm thinking. Why don't we add Tetris to the NES block? What do you think? It's the same concept, right? Really short, just kind of a gone kind of a thing, right? I know it's Game Boy, but whatever. So let's do that. I don't actually know, Jay Palmer. Then Kirby block, we already talked about that. This needs to be added to the 2D block. which is funny because the 2D block's already funded. What do you think? Should we review this terrible game that my sister gave me? Oh, absolutely, Wedlock. Tetris was very much a Star Wars, to use my own terminology. That's because the NES block doesn't exist yet, Yura. We're technically making it right now. It's going to include Double Dribble, Boy and His Blob, Dr. Mario, Double Dragon 2, Jeopardy, Wizards and Warriors, Chippendale 1, Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Little Mermaid, Batman, Adventures of Lolo, Kirby's Adventure. Actually, we're probably going to push that into the Kirby block. Bubble Bobble, DuckTales, Ninja Gaiden 1, Double Dragon 1, Punch-Out, Paperboy, Wheel of Fortune, Dig Dug 2, Ninja Gaiden 2, and Tetris. I'm debating how many of those should be removed from the NES block. Obviously, Kirby should, because we're going to make a Kirby block. The SNES block is also much smaller than I thought, because most SNES games are covered by something else. So we just have Starfleet Academy, Battle Clash, SimCity, Illusion of Gaia, and Falcon's Revenge. And the N64 block is Ogre Battle 64, Bomberman 64, and Smash 64. That's it. Which is fine. It's not like a block needs to be big. I didn't even see it, Blade Ball. Was I up when it happened? Because the gentleman came by and I was actually in the other room. So, yeah, let's see the hot alien. I was rummaging in my desk. Oh, I was like this. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Let me double check, make sure there's nothing else down here. There's something called Chrono something. I don't know what that is. I don't think anybody gives a damn about that. This is really funny. I'm looking at my Game Boy games, right? And I've got Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Time, or whatever it is. I can't read it from here. That's actually... Is that a GBA game? Whatever. Final Fantasy Adventure, Pokemon Gen 1, Pokemon Gen 2, FFL 1 through 3, the 2 Zelda games, and Tetris and Kirby. And that's it, other than the Marios. I don't have a lot of Game Boy games. Ages, that's the other one. I knew it was something temporally. Anyway, so Blade Tribal wants to put that towards... There we go. Read that. There we go. My eyes are going, as is their wont. So that's going towards Andor, Stranger of Paradise, and White Knight Chronicles 2. Bomberman 64 Second Attack. I've actually played that. My mother thought it was hilarious because he would do the big eyes emote. Sorry, I'm debating. Because we've got... What do we got? We could divvy up the NES block a bit, but all of these are short games. Did the value of the 100K change? No. It's still... Oh my, listen to me. It's still worth $2. It's still worth the same as a subscription. Someone do me a favor and check to see if River City Ransom is on the list, please. Okay. River City Girls is. It's a game I still haven't played, except for like 10 minutes with my niece. I'm just debating because we've got Double Dragon 1, Double Dragon 2, and River City Ransom, all of which are beat-em-ups, obviously. Like, most of this, I don't really mind being part of the NES block. The only potential maybe is Castlevania. Actually, do me a favor. What Castlevania games are on the list right now, please? Because I know there's a collection. I don't remember what it's called. Start putting some of this stuff away. There's some games in here I'm not even offering. The Advanced Collection. What was in the Advanced Collection? Castlevania Advanced Collection. I already own it. It's on the Switch. What do you include? That's a weird list of games. Dracula X, Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow. I must be misremembering. I swear there was some kind of, Castlevania collection that wasn't that one. I mean, obviously I'm wrong. No, Dracula X was the one on the SNES that was never released originally in the States. We have not done Xenoblade. Well, we haven't done any Xenoblade stuff currently, would be the way to phrase that. Listen, Django. You don't understand. You all don't understand. I was just explaining how Baldur's Gate is one of the greatest games I will never stream. Because I do not have the charisma to stream such an amazing game. No, Mr. Red? Although Mr. Red does bring up a good question. So, I have a simple system. I like to call it, use your brain. Now, I don't mean that as an insult. I actually mean it as a literal demonstrative. If you sit there, and you're thinking, man, I can't wait to game the system to get all this funding happening for as cheap as possible, then don't do that. That's really what that boils down to. Don't do that. If you have to resort to gaming the system in order to get something happen, something else is wrong here, right? So, what I mean by that is you could, hypothetically, donate $5 or $2 towards Double Dribble, Buenas Blob, and Dr. Mario. Then, shortly thereafter, donate $2 towards Double Dragon 2, Jeopardy, and Wizards of Warrior. Then, shortly thereafter, donate $2 towards Chip and Dale 1, Castlevania, and Castlevania 2. Please don't do that. I'm just going to ask as nicely as I can. Please do not try to game the system. Also, please don't carpet bomb. Yes. Okay, so now I have to make some choices. So obviously Super Metroid's that's a yes. You know, I'm gonna say something weird. I'm okay with not restreaming these games. Like, I'll take thoughts on this, but I'm okay with just... We did a review of all three of these. It's just, it was all three of them were before the Oblivion line. And these games are not fun to go through. I'm okay with just being like, yeah. Now, Returns and Tropical Freeze are amazeballs. And I think they're on my list. And by that I mean the list that's not on the website. Can the old streams be adapted to the new system? We tried that, actually. It didn't work. The problem is, the only way to really audit a game into the new system is to restream it. Psalm is obvious, that's part of that block. We didn't decide about Breath of Fire. think about that. And then Paper Mario is actually already on the list, and that one is never coming back. So, we never actually streamed Tales of the Abyss Jaded Font. And the Rumination's still up. It's just... I'm pretty sure the Rumination's still up. Should be able to find it. If you can't, I'm pretty sure I know what happened. Yep. Now I find myself wondering what I'm missing. I know there's some games that aren't here. Like, physically aren't here. There you go. It is there. Yeah, no, I get what you meant, Jaded Font. Like I said, part of the problem of the old rooms is we didn't stream them. And that led to a whole host of other problems. Like, seriously, that was not great. That was not great. Put you over here. So, yep. What do I do about Breath of Fire? Me too, S.A. Ross. Gee, I don't know, J. Palmer. Is it the guy the size of a planet? Or the dude who was beaten by a guy with a lightsaber? Thoth 2 was not done under the current system. It fell behind the Oblivion line. I prefer Patronage over Allura. Patronage is... that's true. That's true. Valkorion was beaten by a smuggler. A guy with a blaster and no force ability. Yeah, he's immoral. That's nice. Sargeras is the size of a planet. I could keep going, but I really don't need to. What was I saying? Do I prefer Patronage or Twitch? So the benefit of Twitch is that Twitch gives you access to the badges and the emotes. The benefit of Patreon is that it gives a larger percentage of your donation to me. It also allows you to donate something other than $5. Oh, the avatar of Sargeras. Okay, that's a very different question, Jay Palmer. Now, hang on, I need to look something up really quick. While I'm staring at my website here. That's what I thought. We do have a Discord. Unfortunately, I think all my mods just bailed on me because they were like, this is boring and dumb. Don't blame them. Okay. No, Von Falkenstein, but you could, which means, canonically, did I ever play Harry Potter on the PS1? No. I've been told it's good. I think if that's the one I'm thinking of. But I have not actually played it, no. Is there a P.O. box you can mail money to me? Nope. I actually do have a P.O. box, but I'm not giving that out. Terrible idea. Okay, so... Yes. I think everyone's seen the Hagrid from the PS1 game. Especially recently. Thank you, Bregwin. So here's the deal. I'm thinking about... We currently have Breath of Fire 3 on the list, right? I'm thinking about just baking in Breath of Fire 1 and 2 into that. And then, you know, just calling it a Breath of Fire block. Now, you're probably wondering, what about Breath of Fire 4 or 5? Well, there's two problems with that. One, that's going to burgeon the block into being ridiculously long, and it's already a decently long block. Second of all, and substantially more importantly, I don't own Breath of Fire 4 or 5. So, I would also be okay with skipping 2, as weird as that sounds. I'm not sure, though. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of debating. So I've talked about this before. Some of the games before the Oblivion line, I'm okay with not auditing. For whatever reason, right? Maybe they're too long, maybe they're too irritating, maybe I don't feel like a re-review is even needed. There is actually a Breath of Fire 6. No. Anyways, and BoF 2, honestly, is such a problematic and honestly kind of frustrating, terrible game to play through, especially without cheats. Which is the purpose of a review, obviously. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with just not putting that on my plate and just letting there be that hole there, you know? I'm pretty sure BoF 1 would review better than BoF 2, and that's all I really need to know. I'm pretty sure BoF 3 would stomp both of them, and I don't own 4. Although, how much is 4? Just because I'm curious. So BoF 4 isn't happening. It's okay, it's only $95. I suppose I should mention something about that, because I'm not sure everyone knows it. Since we're doing announcements, I'm sure nobody's actually paying attention to announcements or the bot at this point. But one of the things we established as a policy, partially to keep the list limited, but also because of sanity, is if a game, it's always an older game that I have to buy used, costs more than $60, the answer is no. Just, nope, we're good. Now, that's not a hard line. I've bent that line several times. But that's the rule. So BoF 4, which is $95 at the cheapest, or $180 for the next one, no. So BoF 1 and 3, I'd be okay with that. So let's do that. Where's Breath of Fire? Breath of Fire. Jay Palmer. Sorry, I'm an acronym guy. The reason I call it SOM. Oh, no, I'm good, Spartan. I'm good. Oh, absolutely, Wenlock. Yeah, availability, so that's another thing. Some of you may or may not know this, too. Even before it gets to... Correct, Pillars of Snow. Even before it gets to me just personally vetoing something for personal reasons, there's actually 3 barriers to entry for any game being added to the list. The first is availability. I have to have a legal copy of that game, whatever that means. Maybe it's on the digital distribution, maybe it's like a physical copy like this. Doesn't matter. I have to be able to procure the game. Barrier number 1. Barrier number 2 is I have to be able to play the game. There are actually games which I have and own and cannot play. Baldur's Gate 1 is an example of that. There's a proviso on top of this. This is actually a newer proviso, which we added because we had this problem in some of the older games. But if I have to get some kind of third-party software to get the game running, then I'm going to consider that a no, and just say no to that. Then we have the third requirement, which is streamability. I have to be able to get the game on camera. That should be pretty obvious. So, those are the 3 barriers. Any game has to pass those 3 barriers, even before it actually gets to me, technically, and I say, okay. And that's one of the reasons why I say, please give a backup if you ever add something to the list, because I like to do my due diligence and test, usually that day, if I could get that game playable and get that game streamable, right? And sometimes I can't. And that's why the veto list exists. That's terrible, Zach Taft. So I could get the enhanced edition of BG1, which is the version I'm referring to, the one that I can't get working. Arcanum is the one that I can't stream, and it actually is on the veto list. Although I've never... Huh. I have Wraith, and that's not feasible for a lot of reasons. Let me do a tech. Hang on. Oh god, I'm still in Morrowind. Morrowind's just sitting there. I do actually. You type in !veto right now, and you will find the veto list. I do try to keep that up to date. Anytime I say no to a game, I tend to add it to that. Okay, so let's see, because that is a good question. Morrowind is in the BRPG block, that is correct. It'll be Morrowind, Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas in that order. They did, Von Falkenstein. I actually looked into it. Because there is a really strong fan community for Arcanum. And that's how they get that going. Which OST is my favorite? Morrowind. I don't even have to think about that. Starfield's not out yet. Yes, Skyrim... Weirdly, this is going to sound strange. I think Skyrim's going to review better than people think it's going to. But that's not going to be very high. Do I not? I don't. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, hang on. Hang on. We may be about to veto another game right now. I mean, we've already run into that, Kira White Noise. Yeah, Skyrim will be net positive. I guarantee it. But... okay, hang on. No, Arcanum's already vetoed, or at least it should be. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I don't even want to say the game, because I know you're going to kill me if I veto this game. But this game is one of the ones that was grandfathered in. So, for those of you not aware, I keep relating this to politics because of how much that's just kind of how this lines up. Once upon a time, woohoo, Ross! Once upon a time, we used a system because it wasn't intended to be a big long-term system. And then this started being a big long-term system. So we kind of built on top of that system, and then built on top of that system, and built on top of that system. And a lot of stuff kind of gets grandfathered and baked in and all sorts of stuff, and it just turns into this leaning tower of death. This is how most laws work in most real-life countries, hence the political thing. This is one of the reasons, this is the reason why the queue and the list are as long and as problematic as they have been, and one of the reasons I was trying to just go ahead and pull the plug and axe the list and start over from scratch with the new system in order to try and fix all this stuff. Literally, hit the reset button. But the game in question here was grandfathered in before we had those 3 limiters I just mentioned. Oblivion, Dawn-Crown, no question. I don't really mod that much in Skyrim, which is funny, because Skyrim by far has the biggest modding scene. Possibly ever, of any game ever. But that's neither here nor there. So I don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, that's already a bad sign. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's not good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, hang on. Oh, okay, yep, no. Oh, Jesus. Okay, hang on. So that's already bad. No. Oh, Jesus. What are you doing? Ah! Okay, that's terrible. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Yes. Okay. Hang on. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, I don't know what you saw. I know exactly what happened. Okay. Hang on. Hey, Valerian. Okay. I can confirm that, Kara White Noise, speaking from experience. Hello, Cinematic. Oh, I love it. Cinematic. Do you mind if I, like, slur the T a little bit so it sounds like a D, so it's Cinematic? Like that. Either way, hi. You have caught me at an unusual stream. There's a lot of unusual streams this week. None of the regular stuff. Okay. Oh my god. Sure. Fine, I don't know. For Christ's sakes, fine. There. Hello, Abyssacat. Is it loud? I'm sorry, I don't even have my headphones in.
Hey, Chief. You okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
Okay, hold on. Hang on. I'm gonna switch down to 4x3. There we go. See if I can even get this visible. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would love to veto this game. I do not want to play this game. But pretty sure everyone would hate me if I did that. Looks like it's streaming correctly, though. Oh my god. That's my menu? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yep, this I'll tell you what this is. This is Fallout 1 all over again. That's what this is. How do I move the camera? Never mind. Never mind. Oh my god. This is literally Fallout 1 all over again.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
The fact that this is my interface, I can't... Like, I can tell that's like a keyboard. That's apparently the dialogue thing. Are those buttons? Okay, so... Nope. That's still not small enough. Nope, that's still not small enough. Trying to find something small enough to help explain some of the problems I'm having here. So, I mean, obviously the game has just absolutely an abysmal interface. It's also this big on my screen. This game has a great story. Let me go ahead and say that. In fact, I've done a video on this game. Pretty sure. Yeah, I was trying to find something on one of these boxes to describe how small it was on my screen, and nothing here was small enough. Let's see what the interest is right now in Planescape Torment, shall we? Let's check this. That's not a lot, actually. In fact, that's pretty slow. That's pretty low amount of interest. You know what? I'll just let it sit there. I'll just let it sit there. I'm not going to veto it. It's nowhere in funding. And as we talked about earlier, one of the things I'm just going to be okay with is the fact that there's a bunch of games that are nowhere in funding. And I'm just going to be okay with that. We're just going to let it sit there. Technically it's streamable, though. It passes the 3 qualifications. Go figure. I mean, it really isn't, Chonko. The question in mind here, so I'll go ahead and be open about this. The question in mind was, do I veto Planescape Torment? Because... So, let's ignore the size problem for a second. That's something that can be fixed. The reason I said it's Fallout 1 all over again is because playing through Fallout 1... and actually Fallout 2 was worse about this, sucked. It was a terrible stream. And I don't mean that to dismiss the game. I actually think it was a fairly accurate review, and I'm actually really happy with the review of it. But the stream itself was bonkers, and was never going to satisfy anybody who loves the game. And I can't describe it. I want you to imagine that you're trying to do your job, and there's this monkey which is screeching in your ear the entire time. And occasionally, you just get hit with an electric shock. You don't know when. There's no knowing how long of a gap you'll have in between an electric shock. It'll just be, ugh, and it hurts, and then it's gone. And that's what streaming Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 was like. Excuse me, let me be very clear about this. That's what playing Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 was like. It was extraordinarily unpleasant to go through. I actually almost canceled the stream, if you remember that, Django, because you basically gave me permission to stop streaming. I was seriously considering it, because it was just very, very unpleasant. As Django says, it's just not a very good stream game, and there are several games like that, unless you're streaming them in a certain way, which I don't. So I shouldn't say that. It's a very bad stream game for me, would be a more accurate statement there. Now, Planescape Torment, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to get anybody to not play Planescape Torment, but actually, quite the contrary. It's a phenomenal game when it came out, and it's a phenomenal story. And it is. The writing, the dialogue, the characters, the story score of Planescape Torment would absolutely stomp, right? We all know that. The game would possibly be a net negative in golden number, because the gameplay will be that bad. Like, how many of you remember, just to name one thing, how many of you remember how combat works in that game? I know, it's completely optional. I think you can skip all but 3 combats in that entire game. Don't quote me on that. I'm not that familiar with it. Unlike Torment, where you can skip every combat in that game. No relation to Planescape Torment, consequently. It does. There is combat in Planescape Torment. It's not like Baldur's Gate, where combat is actually one of the dominant things you have to do throughout the course of the game. But yeah, I mean, mages are OP in any CRPG. Think about that for a second. Except Arcanum. Okay, mages can be OP on Arcanum, but think about Baldur's Gate. Think about Neverwinter Nights. Think about Dragon Age. Think about Mass Effect if you want to count that. Think about Planescape Torment. Think about Pillars of Eternity. Think about Tyranny. All of those games, if you are a mage, you are winning. Especially if you know what you're doing. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. I was supposed to have lunch about an hour ago. So tomorrow the Patreon post will go live. That will be, we're doing the Plural system. That's already locked in. As mentioned, there is a reallocation list. It's available publicly. I will also be linking it on Discord for anybody who wants to reallocate from that. And I guess that's it. I'm going to go try to get some work done with the remainder of my day. And no more hot water. I'll see you guys.